to our review of yesterday's defeat at RCB, and we will also be previewing tomorrow's match versus CSK. In the house we have Dinesh, and Dinesh is from Tamil Nadu, so he has a special interest and he's a Royals fan. So Dinesh, just a quick one, coming from Tamil Nadu and supporting the Royals, how does that equate to?
I mean, talking about the roles of Rajasthan Royals in yesterday's match, you're asking that, Surinder?
Yeah, generally becoming a Rajasthan Royals fan, living in near Chennai.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride, you know. I mean, it's the reason why I call it a roller coaster ride is just because we'd been on top for the first two games, and what happened after that? I mean, 4 or 5 games after that. I mean, we were all of a sudden positioned 2 down the table. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's nice to be supporting a side even on a very low tide. So it's been a roller coaster ride. That's what I would say as an exact term. So we're enjoying the Royals game in the Royals perspective as a supporter of Royals. Hopefully we bounce back in the days to come. So we make some good decisions in the, as a team. So I think we'll bounce back hard and strong. That's the belief.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say, from my perspective, if you look at the last 2 performances, we actually played well. You know, in the first match, we bowled exceedingly well. We fielded quite well. And to be fair, we batted well till the end. So it's, you know, we just got beaten in that game. And then yesterday, it was the complete opposite, really, because, you know, we batted really well. Our fielding could have been improved, but right until the 18th over, we were in that match. And what was your views on where it went wrong yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, if you take the entire game, I mean, the last game against RCB, there are just 2 overs that I would say that totally went against us. One is the 20th over that we batted, which actually resulted in just 4 runs and 2 wickets. Where actually most of the teams are actually capitalizing their start in the last overs. They're just going big over 10, 15, 20 runs and over. And with the kind of start that we had been given with by Steven Smith and Rahul Tewatia setting himself very well for the last. Being 4 runs and a couple of wickets resulting in the last over is actually, so miserable that you would actually been thrown out of setting a target like 180 or 190. So imagine if some 15 runs or 16 runs had come up in the last over, you've been in a stage where you defend a score of 185, 186, which actually boosts your confidence up. And the second over that I want to talk about that really costed us the game is obvious, you know, the 19th over, not the 20th over. So the 19th over that Unadkat actually bowled. And what actually surprised me, rather shocked me, is the choice of deliveries that were actually bowled. Other than those 2 overs, all the 38 overs that the Royals had played, be it 20 overs of batting, be it 19 overs of batting, or be it 19 overs of bowling, they had been decent enough, I would say. I would not call it phenomenal, but I would say decent enough to win the match, to grab the match to our favor, to Royals' favor. But barring these 2 overs, you know, things were really fine, I would say. So in the bowling perspective, it's that 1 over that costed us the game, and in batting perspective, it was that last over that really costed us game. Other than that, I would say that it's a good performance, a decent performance. And when it comes to fielding, I was not so convinced with the kind of fielding. I mean, that could have been some 7 or 8 runs that should have been stopped. You know, the fielders were just waving hands to the fielders in the long. And it could have been a single, it just ended up being a double. So, and also the choice of fielders at the fence. You know, there had been a situation where Uthappa had been positioned at deep mid wicket, and we are very obvious that Devdutt Pallikal is someone who actually sweeps towards the deep mid wicket. And you know, it's quite obvious that the fielder in deep mid wicket and the longer fielders have to be very accurate. And you need to take the catch. You need to cut the doubles into singles. You need to be very, very, very sharp. But actually, the kind of commitment that Robin Uthappa has put, I know you couldn't blame him but I mean, it's just the smallest parts of the game that you need to have in your control, and you need to correct yourself, that you can really take the game towards us. Had Pallikal had Devdutt Pallikal been dismissed a bit earlier, had Uthappa had taken that catch earlier, I'm very sure AB de Villiers would have got 5 or 6 overs of leg spin to be bowled then.
Yeah.
So if you see, AB de Villiers is someone who is not so comfortable with leg spin. At that point of time, you had 2 overs of Shreyas Gopal and some 2 or 3 overs from Rahul Tewatia. So these are the small parts of the game. These are the small moments of the game that you need to take it to your favor. If you take the score of Devdutt Pallikal, it didn't matter much. He didn't score big after that catch was not taken out. That catch was not attempted to be taken. But if you look at the perspective of the game, AB de Villiers, who would have come earlier, would have lost his wicket, would have not lasted long. So that would have mattered. So that is where the smallest parts, the smallest misfields, the smallest extra run really mattered, I think. So other than that, the 2 overs and the sloppy misfield or something that we need to look upon. Other than that, the 38 overs were totally no control.
Yeah, and I say I totally agree with that. Whereas earlier we were making a lot more mistakes. Yesterday it was those 2 overs. I actually taken a step back, and I was saying it was the 2 no balls Chahal bowled, and we only managed to get 2 runs from those balls. And I thought that was an area where we could have really capitalised of, say, getting another 10 runs. And obviously the last over of our innings, when we only managed to score 2 or 3 runs on the last over, and they took the wicket. So I totally agree there. And again, it's the strategy we've always said on this channel, that if you have Unadkat, you bowl him out before the 16th over. And keeping him to the end was, because I think after 2 overs, he only conceded about 10 to 15 runs, if I'm right. And then the last 2 overs, he conceded all the runs. So, and again, that's where we need to tighten up. So hopefully we've learned our lessons. As I say, today's result with KKR winning doesn't suit us either. So again, that's going to be an issue going on, whether we qualify, because I think KKR will now finish the 4th position. And obviously RCB will finish the 2nd position. But yesterday was a big opportunity for us, and unfortunately we didn't take it. Moving on to tomorrow's game, or do you foresee any changes tomorrow?
I would personally suggest a couple of changes. First is not exactly the change of throwing a player out and bringing in. What I'm expecting is a change in the batting order. The Stokes gets to his usual position of number 4. And someone in the likes of Buttler or Samson gets to open along with Robin Uthappa. So that's the kind of change. So no matter if no matter if Ben Stokes bats tomorrow and gets 100 or something, I would still stick on to my point that Stokes is someone who needs to come at middle order, and that is where you need to get those singles, you need to get those cheeky doubles. And when someone who is prone to leak runs is actually going to bowl, then I'm very sure Ben Stokes will capitalize the middle overs for that. And also, it's not just that. Ben Stokes is someone who is capable of staying till the end. And then we have very well seen what he's capable of doing in the World Cup final and throughout the World Cup. So, middle order is somewhere where Stokes should be batting, and not certainly at the top, and not certainly as an opener. So, every match we are making a change. Rather making a complete changes in one match and having a good package, we are not doing that. Say for the last match, we had Uthappa opening in the match, and we didn't have Stokes getting back to the middle order. Rather, we saw Stokes being positioned in the same position of opening. So had it been Buttler alongside Uthappa, it would have been a different story. I totally agree with the fact that Buttler had a very good middle order. So, this is the change that I want to see in the batting order for the next match against CSK. And very importantly, if you don't see Unadkat changing his strategy, or if you don't believe that Unadkat can get those Yorkers right or get those deliveries which are not playable, then you just need to rest him for a bit and get Varun Aaron at least inside. So that I'm very sure if Varun Aaron had been in yesterday's match, he would have not gone for 25 overs 25 runs and over, but surely somewhere around 15 or 16. So that would have still kept us in a game in the last match, so in the last over. So I personally feel to bring Varun Aaron instead of Unadkat. And other than that, it's a stabilized side provided you have Ben Stokes coming in the middle and someone in the likes of Sanju Samson or Butler to open along with Robin Uthappa. So imagine a middle order with Stephen Smith, Ben Stokes, Tewatia, and Ryan Parag. You could ask nothing bigger than this actually. So these are the two changes I really want to see in tomorrow's game.
And we'll talk to Rishabh. Rishabh is the main administrator behind our forum. Rishabh, did you enjoy the match yesterday, and where did you think the rules went wrong?
By seeing the opening batsmen like Ben Stokes opening with Uthappa, and even we had Instagram question answers yesterday, and there were 5 to 6 replies, and all were like, no, that's not the opening pair. That's not should be the opening pair. And I think I have tried 5 opening combinations there in their 9 games so far, with nothing working out, I guess. And they tried Robin Uthappa and Ben Stokes as their opening pair. However, demoting Jos Butler and playing Stokes as an opener turned out to be a catastrophe, as both of them didn't took. I don't think they look comfortable there in their positions. Also, it has been 3 innings for Stokes opening the batting, and RR should play the southpaw in the middle hours to provide the best chance to their stronger match winners, I guess.
No, that's true. And again, all the fans on the Facebook page, on the Instagram pages, and on the Twitter discussions have been saying exact point is, why don't you play people in their natural positions? And having Robin Uthappa to open the batting, everybody's been saying that Robin plays but opens, and he opened yesterday and he played magnificently. Smith after the power play. As soon as the power play is over, bring Smith in where he can rotate the strike and also tee off at the end. And also having Stokes there would have been fine, and having Butler at the time, because Butler's timing has been exceptional. He's gone out for a few deliveries, but his actual timing has been the best out of all the players. And I think that's where RR missed the trick. And again, they could have, when Dinesh, you said about AB de Villiers in, they could have bowled an over of Parag, or they could have bowled an over of Stokes, meaning that they had more flexibility in the death overs. Having Jaydev and Nadkat having 2 overs right at the death, I think that was the problem, because the over before kind of measured him, and then in the final over, they teed off on him. So whereas the bowler comes in for 1 over at the end, again, they've got to either decide to tee off or either basically play the over out. So I think that's where we made those 2 mistakes. And again, from my perspective, like tomorrow, I would like to see, again, like Rishabh said, Smith at 5, and then also opening with Jos Butler. But I would go another thing now. Now KKR have won today. I'm even thinking to make some changes tomorrow is bring in Akash Singh and also bring maybe a Rawat in, or also a Joshi in, or is it a Makande in, or even a Manan Bora in tomorrow, because we now need to start planning for the next IPL. Because I think if we really think about it, we're now 4 points behind KKR. And really, realistically, there's 5 games left. Even if KKR win 2 games out their 5 games, they will automatically get qualified. So I think we should use this now period to bed in our bench strength and get them ready for the next IPL. What do you think of that, Dinesh?
Yeah, it's true, but we've got 5 games left, so I still feel that we have to be a bit optimistic on our chances to playoffs, and that's what my mind says actually. So yeah, as you told, you're right. We have to plan before the next IPL, but before that happens, our chances, if you are going to win the 5 matches to come, no team will be thrown away with 16 points in the board out of the playoffs. I mean, I have not seen that happen, if I'm not wrong. So if you got 5 games and if you got 5 victories out of that, you'll obviously have 16 points in your board. So obviously you're in. So I mean, I hope that really should happen. But yeah, as you told, we must bring the young talents inside. But at least for a match, we could try with our winning combination or a combination which we feel should be ideal enough to win the match. Say for instance, if next match is not going to be Norway, where CSA is going to win the match, and we've just got 4 matches left, we've got nothing to do much after tomorrow's defeat. So at that point, I think we can make a gamble. We can look for our opportunities with Akash. We can bring in Markandeya, and we can open with Manan Vora. We can make all those changes. But I mean, it's a good point that you made. But I really think that we should wait for a match more, and I mean, not to make too many changes tomorrow, because if we make 2 or 3 changes a match, then nobody would be really aware of what roles and responsibilities they are expected with from the management. So I mean, if you need to make sure that you are still alive on the tournament. That happens only by winning tomorrow's match. So experimentation by other players, by bringing in other players, could happen when it is assured that we're out of the tournament officially.
Okay,
So
yeah. I say I'm just foreseeing. I said, had the Sunrisers won today, I would have been really happy of going in with a full strength team now. But now I'm less optimistic, because I say the way it will work is we don't want to finish last. So again, we play our best side tomorrow and not finish last. What do you think, Rishabh?
First of all, I think I would like to add some point on your, like you were telling about the bowling thing. And also what I think is, like, we also, made some wide balls there, like 10 to 11 wide balls there. They like RCB were under pressure. They were not able to score many runs during their middle hours. However, instead of sustaining the pressure, RR bowled too many wide balls. Like, there were, I guess, 10 to 11 balls which went wide, and it made really huge impact on the match, I guess. And if they would have bowled with more discipline, I guess RCB would have tried for more wickets, which could have turned the things in our favor. But for tomorrow's match, what I think is, like, one side we have CSK, who is struggling to, keep up with the to qualify the matches, but still they do have many things going on there. But I am optimistic about the match. Like, we will be winning tomorrow's match.
Yeah.
But
And again, because we won the last match, it's the
Yeah.
actual one that I thought we won that very comfortably, and I can't really see what CSK can do now, because I think Bravo might be injured.
Yeah.
So again, that might be an issue for them. But I think, like, tomorrow, I think we should win that game, and I think it's just a question of if we get everything right. If our batting, bowling, and fielding are right, I think we should win that game. However, if their batting, they're just really Faf du Plessis, I think, is the big thing. And again, with their bowling attack, I don't see much danger there. I really don't see much danger there. And I think tomorrow, Jofra, maybe say bring in Akash Singh in for Jaydev, and that might be a good opportunity to bring young people. So who are you looking forward to watching tomorrow then, Dinesh?
yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll see some changes tomorrow. And as I told you earlier, as long as we see a good bowling lineup. I mean, the biggest problem that I personally feel from Rajasthan perspective is we are lacking a deadly combo. I mean, a duo bowling in the death overs, or a deadly duo which you see in the likes of Rabada and Nortje. If you see, a few days back, we had been witnessing Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Natarajan bowling the last 4 overs for their teams. And if you see in yesterday's game, it was Morris and Isru Udana who had been fairly operating well. So, I mean, no matter if Jofra Archer performs well, the runs that he is actually controlling gets leaked from the other end. So that's the problem.
That's 100% true. And again, not really had, other than the first 2 games, where Smith and Butler played really well, or Sampson played well. We've not had the double combination where both batsmen are playing well at the same time. And then right at the death is both bowlers playing well right at the death as well. And that's where the matches is won. Because I say, we look at, as you said, Delhi, they seem to have two batsmen, Stoinis or Shreyas, or yesterday with Shikhar Dhawan. You have two players playing well. And then at the death, you've already got the bowling there. Even with our spin bowling, they haven't really bowled together perfectly where they can say, okay, we're going to bowl 4 overs of spin, 5 overs of spin. We'll take 2 or 3 wickets and we'll reduce the run rate to about, less than, 8 and over for the 4 overs. We haven't had that combination. So I really agree with that point. Okay, so we're now running out of time. So Rishabh, what's your verdict for tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to the Jofra's performance. Like not as a bowler, but as a batsman. Like we can't forget that like in the last match with CSK, Jofra scored 30 runs in an hour. So really, but yeah. So yeah.
Would you open with Jofra tomorrow? Then? So would you open with Jofra tomorrow?
I believe it was it was Ingidi who was bowling to him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the 19th hour. I guess it was last over. I guess, but it
was last over. Yeah,
he played really well. Those sixes
Wow.
were marvelous. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
too good for Shahjahan.
Yeah. Also,
where's the match played tomorrow? By the way, where is the match played tomorrow? In Sharjah.
Is it?
Is the match
The
played
first
in
match against CSK was in Sharjah. So hopefully not tomorrow's match. I don't think so.
Okay, we'll find out where that was. But
yeah.
So you're looking forward to tomorrow, Dinesh? Who do you think? Huh?
Maybe it's Royals match tomorrow. I'm optimistic at it. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
so if we, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what changes we bring in, it's all about playing a good game of cricket with the 11 that you have. I mean, that's end of the day that really matters. And it's I mean, by even after the end of the match, we can talk that someone has actually performed well and someone has not actually met up the expectation. But whoever may be, I mean, that every single person has to be positioned in his or her own comfortable position to give the best. Like what happened with Uthappa yesterday. It was a very good lesson. We learned a lesson, but only after 8 games. And that's the saddest part of it. So hopefully we learn lessons too quickly and implement our lessons learned in the game. I mean, not too late enough. So if we
and I say it's one of those things that I think from the main part of this IPL is that we've learned is that we've got to really be better on our strategy. We've really got to have a plan of playing the players in their most comfortable positions and basically have some faith rather than chopping and changing. Have that idea of saying, okay, these players play well in the odd positions. We'll stick to that. And then if we do make changes, they are not seen as desperate changes. And if you see it, all the teams that win, CSK for years, you could name the first 11 a month before the match. Yeah. So that's how we need to be. And I think our younger players, again, I think it's a good time to blood a couple of others because Tyaggi's been a revelation. If we can get Akash bowling there, that's going to really help us into the next IPL and also get some of that batting. Someone like Anuj Rawat who's been really well, Shashank Singh, that might be possible. But we've got to support the team. We've got to back the team. We've got to back the boys. Win or lose, we're still going to support Rajasthan Royals. So it's goodbye from 3 of us. Thanks for joining us again. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Allah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.